Hey folks, back early in the year I did, actually it was towards the end of 2023, I did a little segment here. Well, I may have only did 3 or 4 of these videos where I did is this album worth it? I don't know if any of you who have stuck around here on my channel, if you remember that topic video that I did. I got rid of them because, they were just mostly just, they were just kind of a test to see if, if I would stick around with that topic, and it didn't all kind of work out. I had maybe a few, it was back in probably January of this year or something like that. But I want to kind of go back to doing this. I want to kind of resurrect this "Is This Album Worth It" segment. So yeah, back early in the year, I did these videos where I talk about an album that maybe nobody ever heard of, or maybe a debut album, or whatever album. I mean, of course, it's not going to be, I don't know, it's not going to be like Sticky Fingers or anything, or Odyssey and Oracle. Well, maybe, but those are like albums everybody kind of just know, But the one I chose here is actually from an artist that I only know a few hits by. Hooked on a Feeling, and Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, B.J. Thomas. Now, I'm not generally a fan of his. I just know the hits from him, and other songs that maybe some people may know about, like I Just Can't Believe or whatever, and Rock and Roll Lullaby, some of those hits from his. But there's one particular album that I was kind of interested of actually listening to, and there are some albums that I'm kind of seeking to listen to more and kind of show here on my channel, whatever. That is B.J. Thomas's album, Most of All. I don't have a physical copy of this album, but I don't know if it'll show up on here. Maybe it will, I don't know. On the camera, I don't know. On the camera, it's showing it a little blurry, but anyways. Yeah, isn't that a cool album? Like, just look at that album cover, man. Look at that. I don't know what type of material that, I don't know if you can tell with the jacket. If I can get it close up here. And my camera, I don't know why it's blurry on there. But yeah, Most of All, and those shades and that hair, pretty cool dude. It's sad because I think it may have been 3 years ago or something like that, he died of, I think he died of some sort of cancer, I don't remember. It was either COVID or cancer or something like that. But if you hear him in interviews, he has like this strong southern accent, but when he's singing, he's got that deep, low, baritone voice of everybody knows pretty well from B.J. Thomas. So what I'm going to do is do an Is This Album Worth It? Most of All. And the song Most of All is actually written by the 2 members of the Classics 4 who wrote all the hits for the group or whatever. And his name is Buddy Bowie and J.R. Cobb. I think they were the sole original members of the group, and then of course they moved on to do the Atlanta Rhythm section, that group that came a little bit later in the 70s. But yeah, he also produced the album too as well, Buddy Bowie, and Chips Moman, who was another big producer too at the time, produced Most of All. And yeah, that song was written by him, Buddy Bowie, and it was off of the later Classics 4 album. I thought maybe it was from one of their earlier albums, but it came from one of their albums called Song. It's just called Song. Dennis Yost, who was the singer of the Classics 4, featuring the Classics 4, and their version of Most of All is on that album, which is from 1970. Most of All, B.J. Thomas, this album, there's not really a whole lot of information about the album, But what I can see from Discogs, they came out December of 1970. And I'll probably put a link below. There's a great little, just short little thing, because he does also throw in another song, so I don't know if it's kind of like a medley, or maybe he just kind of rolls with another song. He did perform most of all on the Ed Sullivan Show, which is kind of cool. He's got that long hair, you know. Yeah, I just want to kind of go through the album. And kind of just, you know, in my opinion, at the end, you know, that I will say is the album worth it or not. So that's the whole the gist of this whole topic, is going through all the songs and just seeing at the end, do I think the album's worth it, or do I think the album is just kind of not worth that at all, you know? But let's start off with the opening track, Most of All. I love this song. It's a very underrated song. As you may know, a lot of B.J. Thomas's earlier albums or whatever were from Scepter Records, which has like that red and black swirl on the label. But yeah, Most of All was sadly didn't really do too big. It only went to number 38 in the early part of 1971, just maybe like a month after the album. And I really like it with the beautiful acoustic at the beginning. And, you know, hello, darling, it's good to hear you. I'm at the railroad station at St. Paul. I just love his cadence. It is really beautiful acoustic. And you get the full band involved. I wish I could find more information about this album there, because there's really not much. So really, you can't really see who we're actually playing on here. But I'm pretty sure maybe it's the Wrecking Crew. Maybe, I'm pretty sure. I don't really know. Really, just has a nice, beautiful build up or whatever, and you know, really great. And he also mentions about there'll be snow in Minnesota. So I think it's about a girl that maybe he's in love with a Canadian girl, and she seems to be kind of he wishes he can see him, or in the guy's perspective, he wishes he can see her, but she's out over in another country and she can't come in due to the weather conditions, I'm assuming. But yeah, it's a very nice song, man. I wish this song would have been a lot more bigger. It's kind of a little downing in a way, because, you know, it definitely sounds like a top 20 hit, but it only reached to number 38. Rainy Day Man. Now, he covers 2 James Taylor songs on here, and they are a bit short. I wish they could have been, like, you kind of want to have these songs be a little bit more longer, but he does Rainy Day Man. It's a really, really excellent. Very, very short, though, and I just love the atmosphere in the song, and explains about the guy that's been cheated on and stuff. Just look for your rainy day, man. It's just a really great message, you know. And after that, we all know They Long to Be Close to You, which of course is the Burt Bacharach and Hal David song. I mean, this version is very, very spot on, pretty much neck and neck with the Carpenters version. I like the cheesy, a little bit MOR. I feel like this album does have a little MRR, a little bit, you know, that early 70s kind of soft, kind of, if you will. Yeah, I do like the cheesy female backing vocals. Close to you. It kind of close to you, the way he kind of says it in a way. Yeah. Then we get Table for Two for One. This is actually a fun song. This was actually written by Wayne Carson Thompson, who you know, wrote some pretty big hits for the box tops. Yeah, I love that. Give me a table for 2 for 1, and I won't have any fun at all. It's a goofy song, but I do like it. It's very good. And then here's the other James Taylor song, Circle Around the Sun. Now, both songs came from James Taylor's second album, which is called Sweet Baby James. And I like this one. It's very percussive, a lot of percussion work on here. You know, once again, a little bit, and I really like the drumming too. It just sounds exactly like what's his name, who did most of the drumming on James Taylor's songs. Jim Keltner, right? I believe, or Russ Kunkel, either one of those two. It sounds just like, I don't know, maybe if one of them were in the studio doing the song, but it sounds either like one of them. It sounds just like them. Sounds pretty much spot on to the James Taylor version. But yeah, pretty cool song, Circle Around the Sun. And then we get No Love at All. This was actually written by, once again, Wayne Carson Thompson. I believe so, right? Let me go on here. Yeah, it was another Wayne Carson song he covers here. And it's got a little bit of a soul sound, a bit like a little bit of poppy thing going, you know. Little bit of love, no love at all. I love the way he kind of octave with his notes or whatever. He's a pretty talented singer, you know. Rest in peace there, Thomas. But you know, he was a good singer. Rainy Night in Georgia. Oh, I love this version. It's a little bit on the pacey, but it gets right in there with his, you know, Rainy Night in Georgia. Oh yeah. Pretty cool rendition. Of course, this was Tony Joe White who wrote this, and was famously done by Brooke Benton, as you may know. You know, taxi cab waiting, a rainy night in Georgia. Yeah, good song. Then we get Brown-Eyed Woman. Brown-Eyed Woman. This is another really good one. This was by Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, who were just music. Just wrote constant songs for everybody, you know. This is a pretty good version. I think somebody else had covered this. I know this was kind of a song that was covered by several artists. Then we get the last couple of songs here. I don't know any better. This song's okay. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of it. This was actually written by Reggie Young, who was a session player, and he was actually part of the Memphis Boys, kind of session band that played a lot for Elvis Presley. I think he played on a lot of the later Elvis stuff. It's a pretty good song. And I like the last one in here, Hello Love. I like when he says goodbye. What does he say? He says goodbye sorrow and hello love. Yeah, it's a good one. But anyways, most of all, I mean, I was actually listening. You can actually listen to the whole thing on Spotify. They have the whole thing on here. There is, however, I think I saw on Amazon, if you want to spend $50 on it, it's Most of All and Rock and Roll Lullaby. It's a twofer album on one disc, I believe. And I think there's one on Amazon that they're selling it or whatever. But overall, I think this album's worth it to me. I think my overall decision is that I think this album's pretty worth listening to. There are some tracks that are, but I think this whole album is definitely worth the listen, because it definitely has, you know, that, like I kind of mentioned there, that it sounds very MOR, and has this pretty much what you expect of the early 70s, you know, with that production and, you know. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Most of All by B.J. Thomas. I was just looking up on of last week or whatever, saw that album pop up, and I'm like, hey, might as well do a a thing on him, right, end the album. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy this. I'm glad I'm getting back on doing this again. It's fun doing these. And what the hell, right? Just for the fun of it. Okay, folks, take care. Bye-bye.